Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the createyou podcast. Trying something new there, but um, yeah, man, welcome back. It's been quite some time, and I'm very, very excited actually to record this one, as I am with pretty much everyone, but this one in particular because there's some things that I want to discuss here that I have been thinking about a lot, and some things that I've been like changing my mind, my perspective on, and like sort of a new way of living for me. Muse and he, if you can hear her, that's her. there, there's some things that I feel like have changed my life in a lot of ways, and some ways that I'm still like striving towards to like continue to grow in. And yeah, so I'm like very excited. But before we kind of hop into everything here, um, the podcast, as always, if depending on where you're listening, if you're listening from YouTube or from any of the audio platforms, you can always watch at YouTube and see me and listen to me and see what the hell is going on with Lola or with Mew or whatever, my guest, at createyou podcast, and that is on YouTube, as well as my main channel, which is createyou, and that's where I post more just like creative type of videos, one that I'm working on right now, that should be released fairly soon, and just whatever the hell I decide that I want to make with it. It's fun and interesting to me. So if you're interested in checking that out and getting to know more of me, then boom, there you go, plugged you up. And if you are here on YouTube and you've already checked out all that, you can always listen to this on the go. If you don't want to listen to it on YouTube and maybe you're on a drive or something, you don't got YouTube Premium, boom, I got you right here. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google. I don't think they changed Google. It's probably something different now, which I'll have to update. But as well as other platforms will be available in the description on either platform. So wherever you're at, you can find those. Yeah, so I think about a lot of my motives as of lately, and sort of like some of the things that I'm doing in my life and about why that I do them. And just as well as being aware of my actions and the things that I do and the things that I feel throughout my days and weeks. And I've noticed that a lot of times there is this feeling of anxiety, which is, I think, generally always there. I feel like I am usually kind of anxious. It's sort of my temperament. Like I think a lot, and I feel like I am conscious of what I do and what those around me do, and I reflect on things often. I just think a lot, really, very introspective. I think another word would be, I don't think it's intuitive, but one of the inquisitive about a lot of things. And so I feel like that's just sort of my natural state in a lot of ways. And to some ways, like it is who I am, and I don't know if I would change that, but like I would like to work to be able to control that better. However, I noticed that there's a lot of days where I do things out of getting to the next thing, like I guess rushing, and sort of the anxiety that brings to me in my life. And I noticed that a lot of times, or I think it's kind of taken on a new form where usually I it's like mostly in my head, and then I think maybe it comes out in the things that I do. I'm just kind of like rushing, which is weird because I don't generally feel like I do that. Like, but looking on it now, like I guess before I started to realize this, now, well, hold on. So yeah, so like I think I've kind of always been like that, just trying to hurry and get to the next thing and not really being intentional about my actions and the things that I do. However, I do think that I I rush and I start to feel a sensation in my throat where it just feels like it's closing in. And for a while, I would feel like this, and I'm like, dude, where's this coming from? And I sort of figured it out, but like, it still sometimes is there. Like, for instance, when I make these podcasts, I've already mentioned this before, but sometimes my throat gets a little tight, and I don't really know why. I think it has to do maybe with fear, which I also feel like is sort of part of anxiety, that they kind of have overlapping features or feelings. Maybe they kind of overlap in some ways, and I think that like that comes from these expectations sometimes that I have, as well as like getting to the next thing and not being intentional and trying to get so much done all at the same time. And so I've been asking myself a lot lately, why do what am I rushing for? Like, for what? To get to the next thing? Okay, like that's fine. I can do all these things, but like, how well am I doing these things, and how much am I really taking in each of these moments and learning from them? Right? Like, cause doing, like before I would have problems with starting and like doing, and like sometimes that's still the case, but now it's like I've started to do things, but like, why am I doing them? You know, to get to the next thing, to like, there's stuff to be learned. And sometimes like we do things that are monotonous or that are not fun, that are boring, that frustrate us. But we also do a lot of things that are happy and or make us happy and make us joyful and like immersed in our experience, or we feel like, you know, very passionate, or like something like that. And so I've been trying to like be more intentional and be more present in all the things that I do. And trying to recognize things in the moment, why I feel those ways, where they come from, and not just get so involved in the feelings that they bring. I know I feel like I'm kind of like talking over everything here, but I'm just trying to be more present in my life and in every area that I can, because I feel like there's, like I said, there's something to be learned in each of these areas, and there's something that calls me like forward to each of these moments that I have where I can do the best that I can, because I think that's always been like one of my main goals in life, outside of everything else that I want to do, is like I want to grow and be a better man in every way that I possibly can. And so that starts, I feel like, with being present in every moment. So if I'm at work, I'm trying to be present there with those people and what is important in those moments, not about what I have going on at home, not about what's going on with my friends or with my family. And sometimes those things will overlap, and that's okay. Things happen in life, and I think it's fine that those sorts of things do happen. But like when things are, I guess, sort of normal in your life, to be present. So like I said, when I'm at work, I'm you know, like a leader there, and so like I want to be able to lead the people around me, and being able to learn how to do that better, how to lead people, how to not like be just like a tyrant, how to like lead with some compassion and empathy, as well as like making sure things are done efficiently and effectively, as well as like helping other people there and helping them grow and learn, as well as myself. And then also not even just the people who are there, but the people who come into the store, and you know, whoever I interact with that day, I want to try to do my best in each of those moments. So, you know, then when I get done with that, then I come home and I try to be present and not like be too much, not try to overindulge in my phone and get lost into the, you know, the loops and the cycles of that, as well as making sure the girls are taken care of, you know, like Lola's being fed and she's going outside, and same thing with Mew, like taking care of her. Even when I'm eating, hell, like when I'm eating, I try to be even intentional with that, like how, like, and of course, like I'm saying all these things, but I'm not perfect, and I'm like, there's still a lot of days where I guess I'm sort of not that intentional, where I'm like, okay, this is how the food tastes, this is the texture, this is the warmth, like the temperature of it, this is how like these flavors sort of like come together, and what can I taste in this, and like how does it feel on my tongue, how do I feel in this moment, like. Of course, I'm not doing that every single time, but I try to be intentional, like where I'm not doing so many different things at once, because I notice that's even another thing that I'll do when I'm in this mode of like rushing and sort of like anxiety a little bit. And then when I get done with that, I try to like put my phone away and work on my projects for the week, if that's something work related or even just my passion projects, or like something I've even been doing lately is like when I play games, try not to be texting so much. I feel like it kind of distracts me, and like that's fine because that's sort of my leisure time, and I can do whatever the hell I want. But like when I play with my friends, I want to be I want to be present with them, and I want to play the game. And I notice that when I'm actually present, I feel like I play a little bit better too, and that's fun. That's sort of the whole point of like playing my games is to like let go of the world for a little bit, let go of my dreams and my passions and my anxieties and my fears and like everything, and kind of get away from the world and just relax and have fun and hang out with my friend and talk with them and play games and just like have a good time. Like that's sort of the whole point and why I am planning out my days like this. And then even before bedtime, like I make sure that I get off of my games like an hour before bed and take care of whatever small things around the house need to be taken care of. I try to stay away from my phone and be intentional on the things that I'm doing at night, reflecting, and maybe if I need to write or just practice gratitude, do some meditation or whatever like the hell it is, like just all my nightly routines, just try to like slowly ease into them. And if I was rushing before, then I'm trying to like, where am I at here in this moment? Like, what am I doing? And where do I want to be? And get ready for bed, because that's part of being intentional. And it's also goes into the next day. Like, okay, if I stayed up late, this is how I'm going to feel the next day, and it'll affect these different areas. If I go to bed on time, then I'll be ready, hopefully, to wake up in the morning and to write and journal or journal and meditate, and then take a cold shower, maybe go look at the sun and kind of sun gaze for a little bit so I can get some of that sunlight in my eyes, which will help with a lot of other things, as well as working out and, receiving all the benefits and swaying off some of the negative things in life from doing that. Of course, there's a lot of details that go into all these things, but like I feel like I've been very intentional about these things. And so like I've set up my days like this to work for me. And now it's all about like, I think kind of like utilizing that time effectively and intentionally, and learning in those moments when I'm there instead of just going through the motions. And some days you will just have to go through the motions because there's the things that you want to do. And some days are just not always like normal. They're harder. Maybe something's going on in your life. You have more anxiety or depression, or your family's going through this, or like work's been stressful, or like you missed out on some rest. Maybe you're stressing about bills, like whatever it is. And I think it's still important to do those things regardless of how you feel, and not to negate or invalidate how you feel. I think those are all very, very important things, and recognizing and feeling your feelings and writing about them or reflecting on them and even being present with them in those moments. I think those are very important indicators in our life, and I advocate for that a lot, that people take that, they take their feelings not really seriously, but like you account for those sort of things in your life, and at the same time also doing the things that you want, because those things, sometimes feelings come and they go. Sometimes they hurt you, sometimes they benefit you, and they're just feelings. Like that's just all they are, and you don't control them. They just happen in a lot of ways. And so, there's a lot of times where like I don't feel like doing something, like recording this podcast. I could be like, oh man, I don't want to make this because it's not perfect in these ways. Mia's over here crying because she's in heat, and that throws off the video because now there's like this unnecessary audio that's in here. But like, maybe I can just cut those parts out. Maybe I can just stop talking for a moment, let her do her thing, calm her down, whatever, tell her to be quiet, and then boom, I can get back to recording and discussing what I'm talking about here. So yeah, I just feel like those are a lot of things that I've been thinking about, and even like how it like pertains to me, and why do I feel like I need to do all these things? Like before, I would just try to rush through everything and get it all done, but like for what? Did I learn anything doing these things? You're like, sure, I felt better about myself, but like, why do I need to do that? Why do I feel like I need to do all these things to feel better about myself? And then that took me down like a journey. And then it just keeps coming back to like, just being intentional and present in the things that I'm doing and breathing into everything that I'm doing and like just being there in those moments. I don't want to be lost in this rush and this chase for things that I may not even want, like fame or notoriety or money or whatever. Like I want to do the things that I want to do and achieve the things that I actually want, not just things that came from other people or from society or from my friends or from my family or like just whatever random thoughts are in my head and things that, you know, that we do, because I feel like a lot of times we'll do things that we don't even know why we're doing them. And so I had to like step back a lot of times and recognize where I'm at and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. Also notice through kind of this whole journey of like not trying to rush is it's so much more relaxing and calming as well. Like, as I'm sure you'd probably expect, but like I noticed that one morning I woke up and I woke up like at 5 a.m. before I had to go to work at 9. So I had more time than I needed. And this is just when I was trying out different times, like to wake up in the morning to see what would work best for me. Like am I tired at this time? Can I wake up at this time and still be good? Like whatever. And I went through that whole thing. And I noticed that on that morning that I actually woke up at 5, oh, dude, I had so much fucking time. I could do so much. And I decided that because I woke up and because I had did everything that I wanted to do, I rewarded myself with going out to get like breakfast or something. And dude, it was so amazing. I have never, like I was up like at 7. Or like I wasn't up at 7, but I was out the door at 7. Like I was driving around and shit. And I was all calm and like felt good about myself. I felt relaxed. I felt like confident. And I was just driving, and I was like, dude, holy fuck. Everybody's just like zoom, 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 running lights and fucking going crazy and shit. And they're like putting on makeup while they're driving, or they're eating while they're driving. I'm like, holy shit, bro. I'm like, this is fucking insane. And like, it's a whole nother thing to get into like why they might be doing that and try to understand that. But for the sake of time, it's like, it's a fucking insane way to live. And I had been living like that. Texting on my phone on the way to work to change the fucking music or to text somebody back or to like look at whatever shit I had going on. Like, bruh, you don't need to do that shit. You don't need to. You don't have to. And like, that was so fucking cool to me. Is like, I don't have to live like that. I don't have to. I went, got my food. I had to wait like 10 minutes for my food and I didn't give a shit. Fine, 10 minutes, like, okay, fine, like, sure, I guess it's inconvenient, but, like, I was chilling, bro. I did everything I wanted to do. I'm done with my morning routine. I'm just waiting for work now, really, and I can relax. And so, I get home, and same sort of thing on the way back home. People are going fucking insane. Get home and put a video on, watch whatever the hell I want to watch. I can kind of browse around for a little bit, eat my food, and not just, like, fucking slam it down, like, enjoy this shit. Dip it in the hot sauce, pour it on my burrito, whatever the hell I wanted to do, bruh. I could talk to Lola, I could take them, I do whatever the fuck I want, bro. And that shit was so amazing. That was like such an eye-opening moment for me and sort of this journey. And man, it's fucking sad that people feel like they have to live like that. And I guess I know that I kind of didn't want to discuss this, but I guess to talk about it and why I was doing that is because like I felt the need, like I needed to do all of these things, and I went to bed late, and I was trying to like just cram everything in. And so like when I wake up in the mornings, and this is like the old me, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, fuck, dude, like, I need to hurry. I gotta eat. I want to make sure that I eat. I need to take the girls out. I need to make sure that they're fed. I need to turn the car on before it's time. I want to brush my teeth. I want to fix my hair. I need to make sure that my clothes look good. I want to put on, this cologne and this deodorant, and I want to make sure, like, all this shit. And I was like, bro, how the hell am I supposed to do all this shit if I'm waking up late, if I'm going to bed late, like, and I'm trying to cram everything in because I missed it? Like, bro, it's not a race. I don't have to rush to finish everything. I don't. Some days I get to do it all. Some days I don't. And like, it's okay if I don't. I shouldn't feel terrible about myself if I didn't do something. And although I still will feel bad about me not completing things, that's like sort of normal. But like, I would beat myself up for not completing everything. And then that just took me down a whole nother thing, bro. And that shit is exhausting. And so I started to like kind of change things up a lot. And I made like exceptions in things like, okay, if there's something that I really want, then I will do it despite the time. And so like what I mean is maybe like if it's late, there's something that I really want to do and I know in the week I may not have time for it. So like for instance, I had to set up like Saturdays and Sundays I feel like are and Mondays maybe are probably my least structured days. And so I decided on like a Monday, okay, fuck, it's like already 10:30. I'd like to be asleep by 11. And so from 10 to 11 is like that relaxing time where I don't involve myself in any sort of engaging sort of work that would like take a bit of effort to do, outside of like doing small sort of tasks to get ready for bed. But I decided that I would work on this structure, and to me it seemed important and I wanted it enough to sort of make this quote unquote sacrifice, which I don't think was a sacrifice because I feel like sacrificing, I watched a podcast where they sort of discussed sacrifice and what sacrifice means, and that means to like forego something in order to achieve something else. And so like sacrifice has like this other sort of meaning to me at least, and so what I kind of understand is like if you sacrifice something, that means you have to give up something else that you want. But like to me it's not, and sure like sometimes you have to do it, but like I want something, and so like if I really want that, then I'm not really losing anything because I'm achieving the thing that I actually want instead of what I maybe feel or what I want, but like it's not really what I want. It's like maybe coming from somewhere else, So I decided that I would work on that and then kind of take care of my weekend and structure that out. So kind of circling back to where I was at and sort of like maybe the reasons why I was rushing. Is because I felt like I needed to do all these things. And I decided, well, while this was very difficult to do because like I had been so used to just like cramming everything in. And so I decided that like, while I have all these things in my mind of these fears or whatever, started to notice that what I really want is more important than how I feel and more important basically just how I feel. And my mind and my body will come along with me if I decide that I want something. Because I feel like maybe like this, I don't even know what it would be. Maybe like a soul. I don't know. There's something that like transcends the mind and the body that's like above it all. That's even like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like when you want something, despite how you feel, all the thoughts, all the fears, anxieties, you'll do it. Even though you'll feel certain ways and maybe your body, whatever, like you're tired or whatever, if you really want something, I feel like if you really, really want it, you'll be able to move past both of those things, as hard as that shit is. But let me set my timer here. I sort of was figuring this shit out, and I think even still, I'm still trying to figure that out now and like understand it more. But now it's like, okay, if I wake up in the morning, I try to be very intentional. So if I wake up late, okay, how do I want to start my mornings? I want to start it by journaling and then meditation. And so if I wake up late, I might not be able to do everything else I wanted to do, but my intention was to wake up and then this is the sort of routine that I want to have. And so then I can learn in that moment, okay, why did I wake up late? I just didn't want to get out of bed. Maybe I went to bed late. Whatever the reason may be, I learned something then. Okay, well, next time I should probably go to bed later. Or maybe in the morning, wake up, get out of the bed. And now we have more time to do the thing that I want. And I missed out on an opportunity to do something else that I wanted to do, which may be working out. Okay, so the next day I'll try to wake up a little bit earlier and a little bit earlier and a little bit earlier. And then eventually get to the point where I'm waking up on the time that I want to. And then I can do all the other things that I want to as well. And this has been very fucking important for me. And it helps me even outside of that. So like maybe I'll have to cut out journaling or something, because I need to make sure that I'm eating before work. And then, turning on the car and making sure it's warming up and then driving, and then like driving to work where I'm not having to speed on the way there and eat and drink on the way there. And then when I get to work, I want to be able to sit there for like 5 minutes or so and kind of set some sort of intention for the day and what I want to accomplish or achieve or work on or work towards. And yeah, man, I try to take those moments, because that's just one like section of my day, into each part of my day. And it's been very, very great. Like it's been really good. And to kind of go even back a little bit again to my morning, it's like, okay, well, if I miss out on my workouts, well, what does working out do for me? Well, I like it because it makes me feel better about myself, and I feel stronger. I feel more courageous. I feel more confident, and I feel good about it. I don't have to do anything else for the rest of the day. Maybe when I get home, I also can look better aesthetically. I like that. I think that's cool. And it also is healthy for you. And it's something that I want to continue to do for the rest of my life, because I think it probably helps you with longevity, keeping your body just, in shape and healthy, as well as like swaying off the effects of anxiety and depression. And like, yeah, I also just like working out. Like I just feel really good about it. And there's a lot of reasons there. So if I miss it, then I can say, okay, well, hey, if that's something that you want to do, how bad do you want to do that? You'll have to wake up a little bit earlier. Yeah, that kind of sucks, and whatever. But if you want to, then that's what you'll have to do. I also try not to do it at the end of the day, because like then that'll get into other things. And sometimes it's important that I do that, and maybe sometimes it's not, because when I get home, I want to work on my videos. How important are my videos to me? Well, for a while, I wasn't taking that seriously. I wasn't like actually putting any effort in, so then I wouldn't be able to get to them. I'm like, oh, I got to put my working out in front of that, blah, blah, blah. So I had, like I said, this is just one subsection of my life, or I guess I should say of my day. But sort of that perspective, that change in my perspective really helped me a lot. And it's helped me move a lot differently in my life and in my days and everything that I do. I try to be very involved in the moments that I get. And like I gave the example earlier of like when I was playing games with my friend, to be, intentional there. Even on like Sundays is usually like family day, and so I go spend time with my family, we eat, and I try to be intentional on those days. Like I felt like a lot of times I would go and I would just kind of lounge around. I would eat and just watch videos or play games with them, but like I wouldn't help out, I wouldn't like set anything up, and I wouldn't help clean up, whatever. And I'm sure that I'm probably a bit harsher on myself and judgmental of the things that I don't do, just because that's something that I'm realizing a lot lately. And so I'm sure that there's some things that I'm probably not giving myself credit for, but I noticed that was like a pattern. And so I decided like to be intentional in those moments, is despite how I feel. If I'm tired, I don't want to do it. Or I shouldn't even say I don't want to. I feel like that's more of a feeling. So if I don't feel like it, but I want to do that, right? Like I want to be able to be there for my family in these sorts of ways. So let me try to do that. And so if I'm tired, I'll try to do the best that I can, not to like overextend myself, but to do something that's challenging enough where I feel like I am growing, right? And so I feel like in a lot of ways I've done that. I feel like I've done really well. And so like I said, I try to take this into a lot of everything that I do. And just, yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to live in that sort of state anymore. I feel like that's just what everybody tells everyone, is like, you need to be like this. You need to have this figured out. You need to be at this amount of money or this kind of job at this age. And this is how you need to move in the world. And like, nah, bro, I don't think you have to. I mean, if you want to live like that, then more power to you. That's how you want to live your life. I'm not going to say that, but for me, I don't want to do that. I don't want to live that way. And there's a lot to be found in each of the moments that we are given if you were there. And you could try this even in just like meditating. There's so much going on at each individual moment, but there's a lot of things that we block out. So for instance, if you tried to sit down for 5 minutes to meditate, and literally don't do anything. Don't scratch. Don't outside of breathing, but don't like swallow. Don't try to like get more comfortable, like find a comfortable position, sit down, and you'll find that your body sends you a ridiculous amount of signals to get you to do something. And it's like, because you're bored, and then you'll go through all these. I've only done this for like maybe 10 minutes at max, but you'll go through all these different feelings and all these different thoughts, and like that's cool. There's a lot of shit going on. You can do that outside of that. You can do that in out when you're like playing basketball, or you're at the park, or you're at work. Focus on all that shit. There's so much shit going on around you, and like, of course, you can't take it all in, but like, be present in those moments and find things that you can. Find the joy. Find ways to be gratitude, or find ways to help people, or whatever that may be. And try to like maybe focus on things outside of yourself, and that might help you a lot. And I'm speaking mostly to myself here. And there's times I notice I'm like very tired at work, and then like, for instance, today I was kind of tired at one point in the day, and I decided that I would try to take the view off of me and how I felt, while also recognizing how I felt and why maybe I felt that way, and then just take a brief moment and then breathe it all in and just let it all go. I'm just tired for whatever reasons, and I have to work, and so like, that's fine. And I noticed once I took the focus off of me, I put it on other people and what I could do in those moments. And within like 5 minutes, I forgot all about that. I didn't even really feel tired anymore. I felt ready to go. I felt like, just felt good. So I felt really good about that, which is really cool to reflect on right now. So yeah, I think, like I said, this is a lot of the ways that I've been trying to live. One thing that I started to do as well, I think that helped me get to this, was like, I had this idea for a long time that I had to be a certain way when I made these videos, or that I had to be somewhere at a certain point. And I get to live out my dreams now. That's exactly what I'm doing. This is like what I want to do, right? This is cool. And so I get to be here in this moment. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Not the money, not the worries, not the fears. And that's how I feel in this moment. I feel like I'm present. I feel like I'm here. And it's very fulfilling. It's like, this is like, I get to create. This is like cool. This is like what I want to do, this is just one medium, I think would be the word, that I get to express that creativity in, and share my my life and my ideas. But another thing, like I was about to say, actually, is that I've been working on this essay for a while from Jordan Peterson. It's called the self-authoring program. And basically this program has like a couple different like sections. One of them is like the future, one of them is the past, and then the present. And so like the future one is to help you with goal setting and everything related to that, and like literally going into small steps and to help maybe with the fears and anxieties. Then there's the past one to help you reflect and kind of dissect whatever you had going on in the past, maybe to help you with depression. And then there's the present, which has like your faults, your virtues, and your faults, and then you can go into that. I've done the present one with the virtues and the faults briefly. I have not done the past one, just because I feel like I think about the past, but I don't feel like I don't usually struggle with those sort of things, because I'm very reflective. I think the future is something maybe I have an issue with, because I don't do things out of anxiety or fears, and they kind of hold me back, or they hold me from doing things or whatever. And so I decided that I would write about all my goals, and then I would go into details. And like, I wrote like 9,000 words, which I don't think I've ever written that long, maybe outside of maybe in college, but I haven't written like that since then. And this took me like a few weeks to do, that I would spend like maybe an hour to 2 hours on after I got out of work to work on. And so it was like a really cool experience. I really enjoyed writing, and it was so much more easier to do because it was things that I actually wanted to write about, which is kind of like a whole big thing about this in particular, and what Jordan Peterson sort of like kind of talks about when he talks about this essay, or this program that he has. Also, for those who are interested, you can also check this out. Apparently this has like a really high percentage. I'm probably getting it wrong, but I want to say it's like a 45% decrease in your dropout rate if you do this in college. And like that's cool as fuck. Like if you don't want to drop out of school, like this will help you reorganize your mind and reorient you into your goals and stuff like that. But anyways, all that being said, I wrote a lot, and so like I wrote that I wanted to be more intentional, and so like that's kind of helped me get to where I'm at now. I feel like with me sharing this, and then sort of the ways that I've been trying to live my life over the past few months. Um, and yeah, like I said, it just kind of really goes into it. And so like evaluating your motives is one thing that I wrote about here, and I feel like this would benefit me and my life as well as those around me. Like because if I'm more intentional in my life, there's more things that I could do not only for myself but for those around me, those that are in my life, for others, to help them. Like I said, with my family. Sure, like I can go over there and I can just indulge and eat and then not have to clean up or whatever, and like sure, like that's great. But why can't I do that and then also help those out around me, to help them in their lives and to make the experience even better for them and for me and for all of us, so we can get together and bond more. We can create new things in our relationships, and like that's cool. That's amazing. Um, and sort of the things that does, like I said, even coming back, it's like we just keep balancing off each other. Then I can take those sort of things that I learned in my relationships with my family and take that to friendships and, like maybe even romantic relationships and stuff. So I think that's really cool. Um, I also feel like it'll help people want to be around me. And I feel like I don't have like a whole bunch of friends and like people that I talk to on a daily basis, but like I like to be around people who make me feel heard and who make me feel welcome and who are funny, people who are fun to be around, people I can learn from, people like, and if I can be the someone like that for those around me, then maybe I'll find someone like we can, you know what I'm saying? Like we could just kind of keep like analogy, like ping ponging against you. I don't fucking know, bro. But yeah, I think it's really cool. I also got into like the detailed strategies of like for this goal, and some of the things that I would write to maybe get to this place would being aware of myself and my action, reflecting, um, recognizing the issues that I can see, or the faults, and then work on those things. Um, and like I said, if you're in these moments and you're present, it's not about what you did or you didn't do. It's about like learning in those moments what you can do next time, which is it's so new to me, man. Like I'd be so scared to make a mistake for fucking forever. But that's how you learn. There's literally no other way to learn. Like truly to understand something at the deepest level than to make a mistake, see it, learn from it, and try something different next time. Somebody can give you a lesson that they learn, and you might learn maybe a little bit like that sometimes, but like I'm thinking of my life, and the things that I've learned has been on my own. Lessons that I learned on my own. Things that I did, that I tried, and that I failed at, or that I didn't, and that I took with me to the next thing. This was also a really cool essay to write because I prioritized my goals, which was very important. And I don't think I've ever done that. And so a lot of times my goals were just kind of just however I felt or whatever I thought about at that moment, which is they kept lapping over one another. And so no real structure was there, no real intent was there. And I wrote this thing a long time ago. I don't even know where the fuck I got this from, but like I put deliberate focus and intentionality creates discipline. This gives you a higher probability to succeed in a given area. Because if you're intentional, like sure, I can do 1,000 things in a day, but like how good am I going to be at any of those things if I'm just like going through the motions? Now, if I'm intentional with each thing, I am learning, and then I can take that with me and I can succeed. I have a higher chance to succeed in that area because I am in that moment. I'm present with the workout. I'm present with the editing. I'm present with the recording. I'm present in that moment. And you can learn so much, man. I'm telling you, like, this is such an amazing thing. And I wrote something here that I think is very, very, very cool. So this is, again, considering the detailed strategies for goal attainment. That's like the topic there, or like the overlying theme, I guess. So I put, I wrote some other stuff, but like basically planning times out for goals and prioritizing them. Write about my goals or how I feel or think to help me in given areas and I am wanting to be better in. Being more kind and patient with myself, or even ignoring my feelings sometimes and recognizing that they are what they are, not right or wrong, sometimes indicators or fears. I can further this idea by choosing to live the life that I want to live and follow through and negotiating that with myself. I will continue to be self-aware in my days and keep the things that I want to do in mind or write them down as goals, affirmations, or ideas and thoughts. I know this is a bit vague, but this overall goal isn't too specific as it will constantly change depending on where I am at in life. I can practice these anywhere from my morning routine to work to pursuing creative passions or even hanging out with family and friends. And I think that was like a very powerful paragraph, because it's a goal that is ongoing. And once you start to do it, I continue to keep harping on this, but like you just learn more and more every single time. And it's just been like an amazing journey. And I think it's helped me, like I can't even, I guess, in reflecting in this moment, like I can't begin to explain how in just a few months of doing this, how much my life has truly changed, from how I feel about myself to how I see the world to how maybe other people see me to how I see them, my goals and my passions and the things that I've learned, my feelings and my thoughts and my ideas have all changed, not overnight, but over time, and things that I'm still trying to understand and learn. And it's been fun. It's been like a hell of an adventure doing this. And I just feel like I continuously keep growing, bro. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much more I have to say about this, really. I don't know how much I can keep dragging it. Not that I feel like I'm sort of dragging it here towards the end, but like, I don't think I've been dragging this whole thing about. But, yeah, it's really changed a lot. And maybe you guys could give it a try. Trying to be present and intentional with one thing. You know, that's how I started. I started off fucking small and then beat myself up for a while and then tried to do too much again and then, yeah, fell and got back up. But I think, I think it'd be cool if you tried it out. And let me know what you think. Let me know what thing you're trying to be more intentional with. And maybe you can check back in and let me know how it turned out. And maybe you'll find the life that you feel like is worth living, the life that you want to live, which I think is the most important thing, is what you want and how you want to live your life. Of course, there are like exceptions in that, but I'm not here to discuss that. And yeah, man, I think that's pretty much all I got. But this has been one hell of a podcast. I enjoyed this one a lot, and it helps. Like I say every time, bro, this helps me in my life, and hopefully, you know, through people watching this, maybe it helps you. And that would be great. That's what life's all about. So if you did enjoy this podcast, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe if you're new here, and I want to try to release a podcast once a month, along with making videos for my main channel. That's the new goal. I think that's more than achievable. So, there might be more than once a month. There might, I don't know. We'll just see how that works out. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And if you got it this far, then hey, bro, Hey, low, bro. I didn't mean to say that. Hey, bro. Love you. Love you, dog. Yeah. As always, this podcast is available on all audio streaming platforms except for a few, but they're always in the description if you want to find out exactly where they're at. As well as if you are coming from a audio platform of Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever, you can check me out on YouTube at the Create You podcast. You can see me live. You can see all this weird shit I'm doing with my hands right now. And also check out my main channel. That's where I post my more creative work. Like I always tell you guys, check it out, bro. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe on that one too. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.